The Arctic is melting at an unprecedented rate. This environmental truth has ignited a different kind of heat geopolitical tension, as nations vie for control. The United States, Russia, and China are now locked in a struggle for dominance in this rapidly changing region, each seeking to secure their interests. New sea lanes are opening, creating opportunities for navigation and trade. Untapped resources beckon, promising economic gains. The Arctic is a new frontier, and the stakes are incredibly high, with nations eager to exploit its potential. The Ukraine war was a turning point. It galvanized NATO, prompting a reassessment of Arctic strategies. The alliance boosted its military spending significantly, preparing for potential conflicts in the region. It devised new defense plans, focusing on the unique challenges posed by the Arctic environment. The Arctic features prominently in these plans, highlighting its strategic importance. NATO is deeply worried about Russian and Chinese militarization in the region, which could shift the balance of power. The Arctic is becoming a crucial maritime passage, with significant implications for global trade. Melting ice allows for shorter shipping routes between Asia, Europe, and North America, reducing travel time and costs. This has significant commercial implications, potentially transforming global shipping industries. It also impacts military strategy, as control of these routes becomes a key objective. Control of these routes could determine the balance of power in the 21st century, making the Arctic a focal point of international interest. Russia and China have significantly increased their military activities in the Arctic region. They now conduct joint patrols regularly, showcasing their growing cooperation. They also hold large-scale naval exercises, demonstrating their combined naval strength and strategic coordination. Their air forces conduct complex maneuvers together, enhancing their interoperability and readiness in the harsh Arctic environment. This growing cooperation between Russia and China raises significant concerns in the West, particularly among NATO members. It suggests a deepening strategic partnership between Moscow and Beijing, with potential implications for global security dynamics. Russian military aircraft have been spotted near Alaska, conducting operations that test the boundaries of American airspace. They enter the Air Defense Identification Zone, testing American defenses and response times. Chinese vessels have been seen near the Aleutian Islands, operating within the U.S. exclusive economic zone. These actions are considered provocative by many analysts. They underscore the growing military capabilities of both countries, which are increasingly focused on the Arctic. China now calls itself a near-Arctic state, a term that reflects its ambitions in the region. This designation is not officially recognized by the international community, but it reveals China's ambition to play a significant role in Arctic affairs. Beijing wants to be a major player in Arctic affairs, influencing the region's future. It seeks influence in the region, even without a geographic claim, aiming to shape the geopolitical landscape of the Arctic. The US and its NATO allies are increasingly worried about the developments in the Arctic region. They see Russia and China's growing military cooperation as a significant and emerging threat to their interests. The joint naval exercises, Coast Guard patrols, and bomber training flights conducted by these two nations are all causes for serious concern. These actions challenge the existing security architecture in the Arctic, which has been relatively stable until now. In October 2024, Russia and China conducted their first joint Arctic maritime patrol, marking a new era of military collaboration in the region. This event sent shockwaves through Western capitals, raising alarms about the future balance of power in the Arctic. It was a clear demonstration of their combined military might and strategic intentions. The U.S. Department of Defense now views this partnership as a major challenge to its strategic interests and security. Finland and Sweden's recent accession to NATO has further complicated the geopolitical situation in the Arctic. The Arctic is now divided between NATO members and Russia, creating a new front line in the region. This division is reminiscent of the Cold War, with both sides preparing for potential conflict. It increases the risk of miscalculation and escalation, making the Arctic a potential flashpoint for future tensions. NATO's history in the Arctic is long and storied. It dates back to the alliance's founding in 1949. 5 of NATO's original members are Arctic states. During the Cold War, the Arctic was a critical front line. NATO focused on countering Soviet submarines and conducting surveillance. This militarization had consequences. Indigenous communities were displaced. the environment suffered greatly. The end of the Cold War offered a glimmer of hope. But the current geopolitical climate threatens to revive old tensions. Russia's war in Ukraine has shattered the post-Cold War peace. Moscow has adopted a more aggressive posture in the Arctic. It has increased its military presence and modernized its forces. This has led to a dangerous arms race in the region. The Arctic is believed to hold vast reserves of oil, natural gas, and valuable minerals. As climate change melts the ice, accessing these resources becomes significantly easier. This has sparked an intense international scramble for control. Countries and corporations are eager to exploit these newfound riches. The new shipping routes through the Arctic are also highly valuable and strategic. They can cut travel times between Asia and Europe significantly, boosting trade. This has major implications for global trade dynamics. It also affects naval strategy and military planning. The Arctic is a new arena for great power competition and rivalry. The US, Russia, and China are all vying for influence and control. Their actions will shape the future of this fragile and unique region. The world must pay close attention to these developments. The Arctic is a bellwether for the future of global security and stability.